Overcoming is not a new concept. History has shown us the experiences of the historic voices and martyrs. Have you been struggling with pain in the past? Do you need help dealing with things that are holding you back from achieving all that you want in life? Tune in to My Pain, Your Gain, hosted by Pastor Arthur Williams. This show is designed to help the next generation accomplish the goals they've set out to attain through practical conversations. Join in and find how to turn prior pain into glorious gain.
Good morning, family. Another episode of My Pain, Your Gain, hosted by your boy, Pastor Art. Listen, I told you guys last week I had a special guest this week. My first in-studio guest. Listen, brother, Pastor Nashawn Nix, who is running for office. I do not do this often, but listen, y'all see it behind me. We supporting him, we getting behind him. He's a great man, not young man, great man, and he has been involved in this community. He has gotten in this community. He works with our children. August 23rd, 2022, you got to get out and vote. If you want change in your community, you have to get out and vote. And I put my name on this man right here, Brother Nashawn Nix. Man, welcome to my Pain, Your Gain.
I appreciate that.
Yes,
long
sir.
time no see.
Long time no see, bro. Man, we go way back now.
Yes, sir. Go back to actually my ordination service to preach the gospel. So this man right here brought me in.
I hope I did a good job. Bishop Jackson trusted me that day, I guess. So, just to start off, man, what got you to the point of where you want to run for office, run for District 7, wanted to get involved with the community and want to help the community and make change in this community?
All right. Well, the office that I'm running for is City Council. Mm-hmm. So for folks who may not be aware of what that does, like if you look at the streets, like, man, why do I have all these potholes? You look at waste management, they don't ever come pick up our trash, or maybe they do. You wonder, like, the crime, like, man, why does it seem like all the crime seems to be, in one particular area versus other areas? Like, where are my grocery stores at? The businesses, the retail, property value, things that you touch on a daily basis, that's local government, right? Yeah. So, obviously folks say, well, I'm going to vote for Obama, that's what you call top-down leadership. Yeah. And when you look at folks who are boots on the ground, who are really trying to see change on a local level, that's where City Council comes in. I would be an advocate for my district as well as the city of Jacksonville with this particular position, because we have what you call a consolidated government. Yeah. So just understanding the roles and how we can help make our communities better. And I believe that the book teaches that without a vision, the people perish, yeah. Right? God has gifted me with a great vision to help empower people. And I believe that if we're not doing something to make this place better for the next generation, then we're wasting our time. Yep. And when you think about the murders, I know 4 families that have all lost a loved one to gun violence. And it was like, when something's not normal, but it happens so frequently that you think it is normal. Yeah. And I don't want that to be the legacy for the North Side. I don't want that to be the legacy for my district. I mean, I want to do like my 9-year-old nephew did. He wrote me a rap song called Heartbeat of the City. And basically he said, let's stop the killing in these streets, and there's still hope. I want our people to know there's still hope. After this pandemic, there's still hope. Yeah. In our communities, there's still hope. Mm-hmm. And I want to help folks dream again. I want to help folks get back to work. I want to help folks become self-sustaining. I want to see greatness on the North Side.
Exactly. That's what we need, man. We need strong leadership. People been kind of shifting us around for years, but with you being focused on that, that's like the realest conversation I've had with someone that just basically stepped up and said, this is what I want to do. I just had a show last week where I talked about I'm tired of seeing rest in peace. You look on Facebook, You know, you look on any social media, that's all you see involving our young black men or young black women is, rest in peace. And it's become a normalcy in our community. And that has to stop. Like, that has to stop. And so I thank you for that. Voice your opinion on that and having a vision to change. So just a brief synopsis of your beginnings. Because the basis of this show is talking about your pain to your gain. And so now we're in the gain of your life, where you're running for office and you're seeking the help. But from your beginnings, what got you to this place in your life?
All right. And now, when I go into my pain, I want you to know that I am not being condescending to anyone because the book teaches us to honor your mother and your father.
Yeah.
And it didn't really hit me until I turned 40. I turned 40 this year, so I was like, this is where I honor them. And what that means is my biological father spent most of my life in prison in Attica. I'm from New York.
Okay.
So my stepfather came into my life. My mom had already had 3 children. She struggled with crack cocaine. So he was like, listen, I got to get her out of this environment. I got to get these kids out of this environment. So we came to Jacksonville for hope for a better life and a better future. We didn't know anybody here. My stepfather, I call him my father, and not being condescending, like I said, to my biological father or my mom. A lot of times just making certain decisions in your youth can have a long-term impact. As you know, a lot of our folks, ignorance leads to hopelessness, and hopelessness leads to desperation, to where instead of us trying to be good, we just want to have a good time. Exactly. You know what I mean? So, we go from smoking weed to, well, let's try this, let's try that, let's try this. And sometimes you can't come back.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And fast money. One of the worst things that can happen with fast money is you make it, you get a lick. So then you keep going back over and over again. And that time my biological father actually got caught. So just being a young boy whose father was incarcerated, whose mother, you didn't know she was gonna be home on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Like, it's a lot of questions over your head. Like, man, does she love me? Does she care? You know what I mean? Do my parents care about me? And being the oldest of 5 children, there is some type of leadership that comes in place because you kind of like a staple in the home. So, like I said, my stepfather did work. And so he would lean on me for certain responsibilities. I was paying bills at 12.
Yeah.
So, I was driving at 12. Matter of fact, it's been numerous times my stepfather and I had to go over to the north side to go find my mama car because she's gonna pawn the car for some drugs. And we got to tell these dope boys, you got to get up out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I wish my story was unique, but it seems like it is a common theme, especially for folks who are descendants of slaves, when it seems like, man, where is the hope? Where is the hope? Where is the hope? I did play a little Pop Warner football here in Jacksonville, Arlington. I played for the Renegades.
Okay.
Yeah, I played for the Renegades. We didn't win a game. Lord have mercy.
What position?
I played running back.
Running back.
I played running back.
Okay.
I mean, so it's like, 1st and 10, 2nd and 9, 3rd and 5. 4th and 2, we going for it, And the thing is, that type of resilience, perseverance, keep running. I think it spilled over to adulthood as well.
Yeah.
I love martial arts. I participated in some form of martial arts my whole life, from Taekwondo to wrestling to boxing to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and it worked for me.
Yeah.
It worked for me. So God blessed me to where I was able to go to college. Graduated from Ed Waters. That's why my campaign colors are purple and orange. Senior class president, and education major. So I was able to kind of marry my passions, education and martial arts. And that's why when principals reached out to me, they're like, how are you able to connect with these youth like this? And I said, because that was me.
Yeah, you understand.
That was me.
Yeah.
And they were like, listen, I don't need them to be fighting in school. I said, ma'am or sir, the only reason why they're fighting in school is because they don't know how powerful they are. Because if they knew how powerful they were, they'll just use their words. So it's just reframing some stuff. And I'm also a husband. My wife just retired, 22 years active duty Navy. We have 3 daughters. My youngest daughter, some may consider to be special needs. She was born like 9 weeks early. She was born in the best hospital in the United States of America. Shout out to UF Health. The NICU was phenomenal. And I just got to tell, because my daughter was born during the pandemic. And they were able to have everything in place. Like you know how they're having formula issues. But they had breast milk. They had everything already in place that really made a painful experience comfortable, if that makes sense. So so you'll see my family on the campaign trail. I'm a girl dad times 3.
All day.
So it takes a real man to make queens.
That's a new thing, girl dad. Yeah,
girl dad.
Hey, listen, I got a great relationship with all my girls. So yeah. So,
Yes.
Tell me, so from that experience, you get a call to be in ministry. When did that take place, and when did you decide to accept that call? When you was called to preach, when you heard God's voice?
I heard God's voice at 20. Now, I gave my life to Christ at 9. East Point Baptist Church. It used to be in Arlington.
Okay, yeah, I heard of that, yeah.
And you know how they send the van or the
The
bus
van
to come
to
pick you up.
pick the kids
Oh
up.
boy, I'm like, get out of this house.
Get out of this.
So and messed around and heard the pastor preach, like all heads bowed, eyes closed. Is there anybody that wants to give their life to Christ? Just slip that hand up in the air. I slipped that hand up.
It just went up. You didn't know what happened.
So I do believe I heard God when I was 9, and then at 20, I went to a revival. A guy by the name of Kenny Knight was preaching at a holiness church, and my brother, who's a hardhead, like I want you to hear this now. My younger brother, who's a hardhead, right, and I'm 20.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm feeling myself. You know what I mean? You know, I'm like, got my own job, my own car. You know, I'm in school, but I'm kind of feeling myself. And your younger brother's saying, "Listen, man, you make time for everything, but God. You always riding by the church, but you never come to the church." I'm like, what in the world is this?
And this was after your giving your life to Christ.
Yes. So I'm like, where is this coming from? So he was like, "Listen, we got a preacher who's preaching on a Monday night. You know how everybody got their night." So, and now I'm Baptist now, but I just want you to know I believe in Holy Ghost power.
Yes, sir, I do too.
And I tell you, that the Holy Ghost hit me, and it was like, it's time to get to work.
Yes, sir.
And I don't know how else to explain it, but there's a fire that comes when you know that God has called you to minister His word. It's an insatiable fire.
Gotcha.
That's the best way I could put it. And there were no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I knew that this was my life's journey. So everything that I do, I look at as pertaining to ministry, whether it's running a nonprofit, running my personal business, or even serving my wife and kids, or the community. This is ministry.
Yeah.
This is ministry.
Everything we do is ministry. Yeah. So cool. So you accepted your call at 20.
Yes.
Right? And so up under what leadership did you?
So I started out ministering under House of God Saints in Christ.
Okay.
And then after I graduated, I shifted over to Kingdom People Church under the leadership of Bishop Zamiko Jackson.
Okay.
And basically that's when ministry kind of went to a new level, because it's kind of like broaden your horizons, if that makes sense. Not saying that there is anything wrong with the other organizations.
Yeah.
Just saying that when you broaden your horizons, you see things from a different vantage point, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, as we're going into a new era, tapes are no longer being played, CDs are coming in. So it's now folks are talking about, MP3s and downloads, and now looking at bringing ministry to the nations and not just the local community. So he really kind of helped frame my mind around the global ministry in addition to the local commitments.
Exactly. Because I believe that your ordination was the very first YouTube that he ever did. Which is crazy. But me and him will talk about that another day. But that was a new thing in Jackson. Like nobody was doing YouTube like that. It was very, so your ordination, that was my first video on YouTube. So I guess I got to give you some props on that. All right. So as we move further in our interview, what are some of the things, I know you talked about some of the things you want to, you're looking to change in the community. I guess you can give a brief synopsis of your vision and what do you see once you're elected, because we speaking that you're going to be elected. Once you're elected, I know a lot of people on my page is going to be asking, well, if we elect him, is he going to do like other people do, or he going to stick to his vision? And so I know you're going to stick. That's why I'm sticking with you. But can you give them like your vision and what you're going to do and what's your plans?
Okay. Don't let me talk too long.
I got you.
All right. So Luke 2:49 talks about how is it that you look for me? This is Jesus at 12. How is it that you look for me when you know I must be about my Father's business? So the first time I ran, people say that's when you get your name out. Oh, I hated it. Every time somebody said, listen, this is not the one you're going to win. This is the one you get your name out. But just keep going. So every day, every night, I'm knocking on doors. I'm in the street. I'm a one-man band. I'm on 8th Street. And then at 5 o'clock, I'm on Dunn Avenue. And then I'm at the schools. And like I said, so, all right, man, like, goodness gracious. I got folks telling me they're on the way. By the time they get there, I'm already gone. So it's like, man. So, but they said the first time, that's when you get your name out. That's when you get your name out. And I'm like, Lord, did you call me to do this? Like, what is going on? Because, I didn't win, right? Mm-hmm. And so we reframed it. Must be about the business. Well, what's the business? And God dropped it in my spirit. Isaiah 1:17. This is the business. It says, learn to do good, seek justice, defend the oppressed. That's the business. That's the business. So now when we look at our city, my framework is around, let's make our community safer. Let's see if we can help small businesses be successful. And let's stimulate some economic growth and development that's not just going to hit the north side, not just going to hit the east side, but it's going to have a ripple effect throughout all of Duval. So now this may be before your time, but they used to have a Red Cap program. With the Red Cap program, it allowed young folks, especially black men or boys, to get an opportunity to get workforce development. Mm-hmm. And they were able to put some dollars in their pocket. Yeah. So I want to revisit some policies and see how we can create some year-long employment. And then for the youth that we can't get employed, I want them to get some type of workforce development anyway, because my mama used to tell me, if you ain't got nothing to do, I'll find something for you to do. So there's plenty to do in this city to keep our young people active and engaged. Another thing is because our shooters are not 20 to 25, meaning murderers. Our shooters are now 12, 13, and 14. So as you looked in the news, 12-year-old, 13-year-old, 14-year-old getaway driver. Yeah. So let's keep our young people active and engaged at a young age. So help them build determination, dignity, and put some dollars in their pocket. And then with small businesses, I believe everybody should have a JOB and an EIN until their EIN becomes their JOB. For your listening and viewing audience, EIN is your employee identification number. So basically from 9 to 5 is when you work your job. And then from 5 to 9 is when you work your business. And I want to see how we can help the gig economy. We can help mom and pops. We can help minority-owned franchises get their fair shake at contracts, bids, procurements. Now, obviously, I did not go to school for this. This is something that God had to put in me in order for me to understand it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then economic growth and development. When you look at the north side of Jacksonville, there's no family entertainment. So my wife and I have to drive like 20 to 25 miles to take our daughters to an urban air, a Dave and Buster's, a skating rink, a bowling alley, a movie theater. But people complain about all the violence and the crime on the north side. But what is there for families to do outside of going to church? You know what I mean? So like family entertainment is a big thing for me.
Exactly.
And I need your listening and viewing audience's help in order to do that. I need your help in order to do that.
Gotcha.
And letting them know they have a voice in what goes on in this city as well. Because we're a consolidated government. When I'm elected, I would represent District 7, but I will also work for every citizen in Duval County.
Exactly.
Like, I can't pick and choose who I work for. So therefore, everybody has a seat at the table. If I'm at the table, we at the table.
Yeah. I like that. Okay, so y'all heard it first here at My Paying Your Game. I endorse Deshaun Nix, Pastor Deshaun Nix, Reverend whatever. He is everything, man. He's a philanthropist. He's everything, and so I am honored that you came on the show, man, to share your vision, share your dream for this city. If you would have anything, so the basis of our community, the basis of this show is to help the next generation avoid some of the pitfalls and some of the valleys that we faced in our life before we got to this place. And so what can you tell this next generation as we close this thing out? What would be your last word for my viewers or for the family that's watching on today? What would be your word of encouragement to them moving forward?
All right. So you said word of encouragement, right?
Word of encouragement.
I believe it was JFK that said, "Ask not what your country
could do
for you, but what you can do for your country." And when you are in a community, you are the subject matter expert in that community. Pastor Art, I had asked a man on the east, I said, "Man, what do you want to see in your community?" He said, "All pluses, no minuses." I'm like, "What does that look like?" He said, "All right, let me give it to you. I want a grocery store. I want these roads fixed. And I want this killing to stop. All pluses, no minuses." So I was over in Brooklyn today. I said, "Man, what do you see?" He said, "Man, ain't nobody winning but the dope boys and the people who get paid to lock them up."
Wow.
And I don't want anyone to feel like their voice is hopeless or they don't have the strength and the capacity to bring about the change that they want to see. If you got a committee of one, you can start the role or start the action. Right now, you got all these platforms, Google, YouTube. How do I impact my community? How do I address my local congressperson? Like, learn what congressional district you live in. People say, "Obama didn't do nothing for me." Okay, you're right. Because you don't want to argue with nobody. That's biblical, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying, right? So where we're going is, You sent Obama to D.C., but you didn't send no U.S. senators. You didn't send no congresspersons. When it came to your state, you didn't elect no state legislators. You didn't elect no state senators. Then on a local level, you didn't elect no city council people. And then you going to say Obama, you didn't give Obama nothing to work.
You didn't give nothing to work with.
You didn't give him nothing to work with.
Exactly.
So what I had to do is I go to my Baptist ministers, I go to my AME ministers, I go to my Pentecostal ministers, and I say, I need all y'all help. Because all y'all got something to offer because you serve families. And I want to see all of our families win.
Exactly.
So I need to know, what do you see in your community before it turns into an emergency, so that way there's shared accountability. And people will say politicians lie to people, but you won't believe this. People lie to politicians.
They lie to politicians. Instead of us being proactive, we're being reactive.
So now nobody's winning but the enemy. So what my goal is that I want to share with folks is that, listen, when you see something that you want changed in your community, do some research. All right. Visit your local library. Visit SAC meetings, PTA, PTO meetings. Visit city council hearings, city council meetings, forums. Try to get yourself active and engaged, because we're not mind readers. So nobody knows what's going on in anybody's mind if they don't share it. When my kids are hungry, you want to know what they say? Dad, I'm
ready to eat.
I'm ready to eat. So like I said, I want to make sure that everybody's voice is heard, because your voice matters, and that would be my my closing thought, as well as election is coming up August 23rd. Early voting is August 8th, and they call it love offerings. Yeah, and if you want to help out with a love offering, vote nix4jax.com.
A small love offering. Thank you, man. That's the reality. Barbershop conversations is not going to help. Street corner conversations is not going to help your community. Us going and speaking with our city officials, going together and standing together is what's going to get us what we need in our community. If we don't go to these city council meetings and we just running our mouth at our, at the family function, family barbecues and barbershops about what they're not doing, then guess what? We're perpetuating the problem in our communities if we don't go to these meetings. So how we expect the city councilman to know what to do when we don't go and have a conversation with them? Pastor Nix is offering, that's the realest conversation that I've had with a candidate running for office, is being straight up with us. If he doesn't know, he can ride down the street and yes, he can see what's going on. But what are your complaints? He gave 2 scenarios today of 2 conversations that he had. And they spoke out and expressed their feelings towards him. We have a person that's running that's for the community. He gave you his history. He gave you his background. He gave us everything, the blueprint to get him to the place that he is now. And so let's support him. August 23rd, early voting, August 8th. Voice your opinion. Let's not just vote for a president, but let's start at our local level and build to the national level. God bless you today. May heaven smile upon you. I thank you all for tuning in again for another week of My Pain, Your Gain. Listen, vote. Vote. Get out there and vote. Cast your vote for Pastor Deshaun Nix. Thank you, man, for joining us, man.
Thank you.
Love you, boy.
Love you,
and
too.
I'm praying for you, man. And we got your back, all right?
Thank you.
Where the real keeps it real, another episode of My Pain, Your Gain. Wrap it up. Grace and peace. God bless you.
Hello, my friends. I am Dr. Zamekio Jackson. Listen, I recently shared with several persons that we would be ending our media training program for our church and our university. We have trained our students literally from around the world, teaching them all of the advanced technology options for doing ministry. I've had the privilege and the joy of kind of leading the pack in the body of Christ with technology. Very rarely are pastors knowledgeable concerning techie and what cameras to buy, what equipment to get, and what it takes to take their ministries to the next level. I was very fortunate to have a media background with coming into ministry, and to be honest with you, it's helped our ministry. In any given Sunday morning on social media, there are hundreds of people that are watching, and thousands of people have watched the production that we present every Sunday morning. One of the questions that it asked of me is that could we do it if we were a small church? And how could a little ministry do great things? I want to take some time to show you the nuts and bolts of ministry. I'm doing my last and final media training for this particular year. I don't know when I'll do another one. I'm going to do a media boot camp. I'm going to take media directors from churches everywhere and expose you to the behind the scenes setup of our church. And we're getting ready to redo our setup in our church, tear things down, change it, redo some things. We've got a lot of things that we're going to do. And so really in the format in which it is that I believe it can help you, this is our last hurrah in doing this. This will give you an opportunity to learn all of the advanced things that are associated with being ready to do ministry. Now, if you are a pastor and you say, I need to get my media people trained, I'm going to say this to you. I offered it before, and it was a free class previously. We did it during the entire pandemic. This is a paid class, but I will tell you, you're going to be able to work with sound technicians from our team, some of the best sound technicians in the country, how to lay your sound out, how to get your auditorium right. They're going to learn hands-on techniques, advanced editing mechanics, picture creation, how to sell your ministry, how to promote and push the agenda of the Lord in your ministry. If you've been wanting to take your ministry to the next level, if you're a visionary and you know that it's in you, this is something that you need to do. Now, the unfortunate reality is these 2 times are the only times that we will offer this available. Now, people have asked me also when I do this, can you come in and train? We will come in and train. Our training is like $2,500. We come in and we train your entire staff. But the beauty of it is in our facility, we have multiple rooms of training. I don't care if you're a little church and you're using cell phones. I can show you how to do it well. If you're a church and you're thinking about doing robotic cameras or you have standalone 4K and 6K cameras, we have that kind of technology here. LED walls, displays, everything. If it's cutting edge, our church embodies cutting edge. Many media directors from across the country have been saying, how do y'all do what y'all do? Well, I'm going to show you how we do what we do. I guarantee you, pastors, if you will get your media director here, your media ministry will go to the next level. Now, I've also been asked, is this only for churches? Because there are organizations that do some amazing work and wish they had the ability to train their people. Listen, this is open for creators. Creative minds, I'm looking for creative. Creatives, you are out there and you have the desire to do a talk show, to create product, to do things, and no one's been there to teach you. I'm recommending that you sign up for this. I want you to share it with a creative, someone that's creative, that wants to do a programming, that's been trying to, maybe you're a community choir and you've been trying to have someone that can record your stuff and do your stuff and produce your videos and create your content. You've been struggling, trying to figure out how can we do this. Listen, this is a class that you need to invest in coming. It's my last one. It's your chance to get. Now, the benefit of it is the question is going to be asked to me, is it virtual? Now, I'm going to tell you, I've done some virtual training, and I love virtual training, but let me tell you this. This class is absolutely not virtual. This is hands-on. I'm going to show you the contour. How do you set the camera? What kind of lighting? How do you edit the production? How do you create media? How do you create viral frenzies that create attention to the work that you are particularly doing? Many of you have not had this. Now, listen to me. You're going to be with me from in the morning to the night. Prepare. This is all day. It's an intense training. You're going to have hands-on training of actual events where you'll learn in the daytime, display it in the evening time, and implement the technology. This is, I'm going to say it again, my last time, at least this year, of doing it, and assembling the team that I've got to train and having the multiple rooms of training. If you are ready to go to the next level as a ministry, you need to plug into this. I can't say this to you enough. It is time for you to go to the next level. Let me help you reach the masses. Sign up for this training. Go to Eventbrite today. Sign up for this media training, and I guarantee you, your media ministry will never be the same. This is going to be the summer that y'all change the trajectory of your ministry. You've known that God is calling. You know that you're great. You know that your content is amazing. Imagine if you could present it in such a way that will grab the attention of people everywhere. I'm going to help you do that. I want to help you become great. Let me help you touch them. Have a good day.
To sign up for this 2-day media camp that will offer advanced media technology training for creative minds, you will learn all the ins and outs of production and media. Go to www.learntv.today. Dr. Jackson and his team will bring 30 years of a wealth of knowledge to the table. Whether you're a beginner or advanced media professional, you will go to another level. Remember, there's limited space for this part.
It is the inner life of Christ working in us so we can affect the world around us. Join us for the new podcast as we discuss the Episcopal way.
Do you have a business or product? Are you looking to advertise, maybe to get the word out to thousands of people on a daily? You should consider the Inspired Network. We have affordable packages that can assist you at getting the word out about your product or business. Call us today at 866-804-6774.
Your financial support keeps the ministry alive. You can be a blessing by sewing via Cash App today at $TeachJax, or you can text to give at 833-481-1524 and text the word GIVE.
So you've been watching the show. Would you like to be a content provider yourself and develop a show for the Inspire Network? Please give us a call today at 904-389-5592 or go to www.connecttv.info to submit a show idea.
Have a praise report or a testimony of how any of the programming at the Inspired Network has been a blessing to you? Please go to www.myprayerrequest.info. Click on the tab Testimony and submit it today. The IPC prayer team would love to know how effective the ministry is being to you.
Do you love video production? Would you like to have a career in video production, but don't know where to start? Your problem is you have no one to teach you. Well, the Inspired Television Network is initiating its apprenticeship program. We'll teach you video production, how to set up the simple camera operation, post-production, and advanced editing. Imagine sitting down with an expert and being taught weekly how to do it. It's a 6-month program that requires a minimum of 10 hours a week of hands-on training and 3 hours a week of classroom training. You've always wanted to make movies or learn production. This is the perfect program for you. Give us a call today at 904-389-5592 or sign up at www.learntv.today. It's free for churches and nonprofits.
Do you need a morning prayer line A place you can call to hear from God? Call the International Prayer Council Intercessory Prayer Line, Monday through Saturday at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 904-299-72.